68.77 billion NPP amanyuku no say Auditor's General Report eka NPP4 ejatoa say omoka say NDC government no into aka finance minister ato force into aka or order say yes audit report den ekoso abusuya yedi kan breaky hu nsem bebre de amamono aha gossip politics TV so unsubscribe ya subscribe na hit say on the notification bell so na be any update be drop bia no wonsa ebetumi akabina abusuya NPP minority leader asembia kowu a eba ebebekra ne ECG abusuya sa update we yedi ka ba drop bi e de amamo ECG abusuya Auditor General's report ne buy no obowura ECG na ECG ekapudu a na eda ho no se eye taxes ana se nka omutua e de magiare abusuya sa sika no according to Kevin Taylor 70 million Ghana cedis sika no omo abom Afenyo Markin ne nkofo allegedly Afenyo Markins and then nkofo sika no omo di ashom botom omo ntua tax ba kokora amfa magiari abusuya according to Kevin Taylor nensema a oka no o 70 million Ghana cedis Afenyo Markins Auditor's General Report in ECG eka omo boy no taxes are GRE for a share finance minister so ontua say Auditor General Report okoye ne auditor or the buyer no abusuya 70 million Ghana cedis Afenyo Markins as a board chairman on it do big Mahama obiani wa utua 10% scra and 333 billion abusuya 333 billion no and also as Sikano Afenyo Markins and it do big Mahama allegedly according to Kevin Taylor or say Sikanina or Mafa and the Ashomu Butuma a yes and manimiano quick action a take effect abusuya momian corner yan konkuti and some Kevin Taylor and the to ya unsubscribe ya subscribe and I hit say on the notification bell so never any update be ever dropping on once able to me akabi medamase
bro ECG on Afenyo Markin on an board chair and a dubik Mahama ECG CEO. Had you see in the executive summary? Wouldn't you see ECG Afenyo Markin minority leader. Shade. This is the Auditor General's report. And I'm Troy. Let me read this to you. Part 2. Summary of findings and recommendations by ministries. Ministry of Energy, Electricity Company of Ghana. Now, share the Auditor General Troy. Point 35. Our review of the company's expenditure. He's talking about ECG. Our review of the company's expenditure as against the approved budget disclosed that the actual expenditure for 13 budget line items amounting to 333.9 million exceeded their budgeted amount of 144 million Ghana cedis. Now, by 189.2 million. We also noted that the excess expenditure was not approved by the company's board. Who was the board chair? Afenyo Markin. Who was the CEO? Dubik Mahama. All those monies, Sasika Omebosui, over 300 to 144 million Ghana cedis, board Tnaho, and Omni Dubik Mahama, Ekonaivi and Omofasa Skadidiye. Afenyo Markin was the board chair. Dubik Mahama was the CEO. Now, when you read further, it says this. We also noted that the excess expenditure was not approved by the company's board. We recommended that sanctions under Section 96 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016 Act 921 should be applied to the officers involved. We also urge management to effectively monitor and control the company's expenditure. Point 36. We noted that management did not remit to the Ghana Revenue Authority taxes totaling 70.9 million. No more the GRE under MPP. Afenyo Markin a board chair of ECG. No more the GRE 70.9 million. No more taxes. No. Afenyo Markin was the board chair. Dubik Mahama was the CEO. Afenyo Markin as the board chair of ECG. They did not pay taxes to GRE 70 million. Now, withheld from the payment for goods, services, works, and commission in 2023, we recommended to management to remit the withheld taxes of 70.9 million to the GRA without further delay and provide evidence for audit verification. Auditor General say right now, no, Afenyo Markin as the board chair of ECG. Omutubi disika over 333 million budget beyond by omushemu na almost 144 million. Ayera. Na dia yakra wum say ECG and the Afenyo Markin as the board chair and the big Mahama the CEO no. Omo ntia taxes ama EC the GRA 70 million. They didn't pay taxes. And the Auditor General instructed Ministry of Energy say omuntia sa sika no kofa no wen kwasiafo. Now John Abujina ponko for $70 million series airway and on go to your taxes no. Na kwasiafo to say light bill cost no. Kwasiafo they did not pay GRA taxes akwa time or more power no asem we 2023 o. The Auditor General's report na make kan no 2023 na we nyina see here 70 million Ghana cedis taxes. Afenyo Markin as the board chair of ECG, Dubik Mahama as the CEO, they did not pay taxes to Ghana. These are people who are supposed to be hanged. You sit here, now in a parliament, an honorable man, a filthy fool like this, a disease of a human being, such a despicable, foolish man like Afenyo Markin. Emma Ghana for the Sika or your honorable man. Such a fool will be sitting in parliament trying to make laws for us. Kwasia obo police ni asum. Kwasia utumi twan trotto minister so ade che say man kan ye. Kwasia mpanyi we be sitting Ghana na MPP so some asem so. This is the foolishness we are dealing with. Now so 70 million Ghana cedis na Afenyo Markin do big mo fadi no. You say and there some John Abujinapo NDC aban be tua taxes no. Wana sika na odi ko tua. Onko fan way. Mi busamo Ochina mohu MPP mwana no busa the 70 million taxes that won't no. John Abujinapo and this one for 70 million in free. It is not about which all this evidence. So the AG has to go in, but you can't just go in and say I'm prosecuting. You need to follow the process. You can't just get up and say AG has the document. AG has to go to court. Do you win these cases in court in one day? No. So let's be realistic for once. As much as the court is basically our problem, delaying cases, we need to be realistic. These are things you can't do in 4 years. You have to keep prosecuting, going to court. You need to keep this party in power for 41 years. All these people rot in jail. 70 million, a whole government. The member of parliament who was a majority leader sitting as the board chair refused to pay taxes to GRA. Kwasia wage in a parliament every day, wearing some Vietnam suit. Ni hu fibi. Ni trimu kekewure kekan kwasia sembie no. He sat on a board. And about 144 million omu disikano and a 70 million taxes omuntia. How? Why? No bit was a MPP kasanti mi kotie. Wait Jimmy. MPP kasa into kotie. The same MPP today is talking about our lights, our energy, and and the MPP way say Kenya wants them. Ochira, muhu mo amka say nkwasi afo. Taxes kura mo dia. Mote ECG. Afenyo Markin nkwasi at board so. Taxes they were supposed to pay to Ghana. Abino, almost had the taxes in the guso. Okay, say I should listen to MPP. Ghana ni bin ko tie MPP. Kwasi afo we. Ever ni ti omo. We mo nipa. Mahamudu Bawumia and this kwasi afo we. These are foolish people. And you say don't have any respect for anybody. You say Jimmy. You so be Jimmy sa bronye. You so be Jimmy sa chema mutumi. Mumu sa bronye say they no be jina ho ye dede ebo mi dina. Adena on kama asemu biem because Samira ka chen so unjai. Kameyi Samira draws akire wo. He mini me minimum no. Na adie bia me be yemo no. Me say adena betra ka say me be ka Samira asam me se Samira me mini me minimum no. Mesin Kameji Samira le dross every na ase akire wo. Samira, I'm not done with her. She knows the way I love my kids. she also loves her kids. We will see who take care of their kids. Kameyi ni nase dross. Na me just abroad obey de na twaso. Kevin Taylor, obeka Samira sam, me sin kameyi ni dross akyeremu. Me yi ni dross akyeremu TV so. Asiafo, what is that from? They for ba we. Na Afenyo Markin, mumbusa Afenyo Markin say me ti be on Samira koye about me eko. Asiafo. Mapon. Engineer ha meka asemi. Na abayo betena so 8 years. Na ono an nkofo tifie. Sa aban o adwene obetufo. Kwasiafo. Aban betena so 8 years. And then mete asem we, and I want to talk on this. Yaba pako for ka asem bi. Yaba pako for say former President Kufuor calls for overhaul of public sector remuneration and higher pay for public servants to curb corruption. Yeah, back for say you tia abaimwe jumafo kayia ketasheshe esubicha. Yeah, papa, with all due respect, this statement is fallacious. This statement is fallacy.
And your statement is fallacy of argumentum ad hominem. Who's your uncle school?
Okay, French.
Fallacy of Latin. Fallacy of argumentum ad hominem. It's simple terms. The statement is a fallacy.
Wow.
Fallacious.
Yeah, papa, I couldn't make us a statement in a fallacious and fallacy of argumentum no. And then say, Obi so for your tabekachere say oni Ghana oni ebeye juma onje kapre. Can Ofuria tabekachere say? Oni ebeye juma onje kapre and the penipa will bu Ghana pa ken Ofuriata. So it is not about paying kwa salary nkwa and bema corruption every home. You see, sometimes na you for politics into chain. Sometimes no ayana momemfa eyedie partisanship nyoma enton chain. And I respect this statement so much. But you see, with Kufuor's experience in politics, Taiwo ja a single spine salary. Abrana onim se abana airbano. There was no money, but he left single spine salary at the Kufuor so. Say aban workers in NJ a certain salary, the same. Am I corruption conform? When Kufuor forcefully, deliberately, at the single spine salary at two a year atamu sukuma of free power. Did it make all the workers, or without due respect to the Ghana Police Service or any of the security agencies, did it stop corruption? It didn't. So stopping corruption or the fight against corruption, it's not about a salary increment. No, and I got a growth cycle said government institution be sorry strike. It is not about the salary. It is not about how much you are paid. Finish here. So we need to separate these things. We need to also look at it holistically. When it comes to the fight against corruption, Ebiane say and the independence celebration Jubilee, and I say Flagstaff House. There are some people sitting on TV telling Ghana for say, why should we even have such a small celebration? But these same fools will turn around and say, the government, why is the government overspending? You see. So it is not about salary. It is about reconditioning our mind to understand the say. We need to have a way to make everybody comfortable and to find means to curb corruption. Corruption is part of man, especially where I come from or where you come from. As Yeni Ebi before, no, we are born to be corrupt. Now, no government can eliminate corruption, but what government can do is to find means, find strategies, find ways to make corruption unattractive. And until recently, you see, say people try to induce or people try to when people try to bribe police officers. Then the IGP or tip no investigations, no the police if want to reject it, bribe in the power. Then the IGP will do what? Will promote them. You know, we need to find ways to make people understand to say they can also at a point they can be more patriotic. It is not about a salary. Public servants are supposed to be conditioned. They are supposed to be to understand to say fine, their condition of service is important, but most importantly, a public service. When you are going to work in the public service, you are not supposed to expect to say you are going to be paid like Donald Trump, who has his private business. No. Public servants are not supposed to be looking at a lifestyle, an entrepreneur who has basically gone for loan, who has maybe taken money from their parents, or they inherited some huge amount of money from their parents to build their business. You working in public service, you need to understand to say it's a service. You are not going to get everything that you need. Anything I abanye juma. Because aban is you and I. Ye juma ye beye, the ebeba sono and ye beche, and the abtia ye hoka. If we lack that discipline to understand, say, miye juma DVLA, miye juma Ghana water, miye juma waha, na metuma ye mejuma individually wella. Na ya condition ye hu ye, no amount of salary increment can change corruption in this country. So we should move that conversation of yen to akutium. You back for to akutium before you leave free office. No, and then it to be kill corruption. When we go back to check the corruption perception index from your time, you will see say pass a single spine salary, no, and no corruption cost. So it is not about the money. The public sector salary, no, at the end of the day, it is good to pay them well, but we can pay them $1 million each public servant. They will still be corrupt. We need to look at nyomana pushing into those things. There are a lot of things about together. A two-man corrupt. Now, what are we doing to stop it? People come to work. We are still using FOSCAP and answer notebooks to log in. We need to stop that. We need to make sure we digitize every login into one. Now we can check exactly who came to work and who didn't come to work. We have to start from somewhere. People's activities at work needs to be documented. You go to a government institution near the notebook at all. Now Obia Fro Bisa Jack, member Muntemo, until log me in. No, I depend, no, I no, it's not supposed to be like that. So we need to start from somewhere. We need to, because humans are very tricky people. They are very unpredictable. And sometimes, no, I was say you're finding means to make humans adapt. And it's not Kromha, or America, or UK, or wherever. Unim say, clocking in 8 o'clock. Now clocking in 8:01. Unim say, your boss will know you came to work late. So you are rushing to get to work. And if you clock in late, maybe it might go against that day, the money you make. So we need to start forcing them to adapt to some new kind of system. It is not a salary. We all want good salary. We all want our salary to be increased. But you see, we also have to commit ourselves. We need to submit ourselves for stuff like that, for discipline to work. And I don't agree with this statement, with all due respect, say. I don't agree with it. I don't agree. This is the time we need to be telling the government to devising strategies to stop the corruption. We need to start from somewhere. It's not about salary. Some from chief directors or government institutions, the chief directors in our institutions. Because and that is what is making a prosecution of political figures difficult in Africa and especially in Ghana. Because majority of the criminality, the signing, the green light is given by the chief directors in government institutions. Into politician, no, you're the neighbor, you're minister of this agency or this institution. Politician here the chief director will have to sign. Now, what politician now, Obaka say, menyashi. Now you have to start their investigations all the way down. How the papers came together for the politicians, for the chief director. So you will see, sir, the politician, he is there as a figure who is basically learning from the career civil servant. Your biggest problem in Ghana when it comes to corruption is the career civil servants. Majority of them are criminals, especially on more managerial level. No? And when I see an equal, those are the people we need to watch. The chief directors, chief financial controller, chief what. Those are the criminals. Those are the ones doing the job for the politicians. Those are the ones helping the politicians to steal from us. So we need to devise ways. Now we go down. We make sure every government institution, you log in digitally. You need to use your kokromoti to log in. We should stop that idea of come and write. No. You log in at this time after 5 minutes of grace period, say, 8 o'clock. Now amount grace period 5 minutes. That's one login. Or login 8-6. You will not be logged in. You have to go home. Meaning you will not be paid that day. A saving government sika. So also by Juma 8-5. Now by Juma 8-10. Or login, it will show red. Your fingerprint will not be captured because amount grace period of 5 minutes more. When to do you have to go home. Ebasana, when it happens 11 times, automatically you are sacked yourself.
Okay, abusuya we ne ensema ekoso our political highway so Alexander Kwame na Afenyo Markin na honsem ene yede bremo ewo ECG Auditor General's report eguso drop update eguso emam unsubscribe ya subscribe na hit on the notification bell so na any update be drop no wonso wonsa ebetumi akabi aha gossip politics TV so na nyoma bi nso okoso ewo political highway so abusuya mun stay tuned ya be drop any update be e de awa ha e de amamwa enye asam keto akra medamase